It is a cloudy day today. It's dull, murky. However, if you look closely, you might be able to see the sheep at the back of the house. They are all behind me at the moment, grazing in the field right here in Much Wenlock. Yes, we are back together once again, live right here during our special month of October. This is English Addict, quick fix, coming to you live from the birthplace of the English language, which just happens to be, oh my goodness, I don't believe it. It's England. Hi everybody, this is Mr. Duncan in England. How are you today? Are you okay? I hope so. Are you happy? Are you feeling happy? Is there a smile on your face right now? I really hope there is, because we are all here together again. Yes, we are back. Oh my goodness. It only seems like yesterday that I was here talking to you. And that's because it was yesterday. I am doing a special month of live streams. And for those who haven't realised yet, Monday to Friday. I will put it on the screen very quickly. Just so you know, during October, Monday to Friday, from 2 p.m. UK time is when you can catch me right here. So now you know. Every day, Monday to Friday. Not Saturday, of course. I will be having Saturday off as my holiday, my little day of rest. But I will be with you also on Sunday for a whole 2 hours with Mr. Steve as well joining in. My name is Mr. Duncan. I talk about English. I like English. I like the language very, very much. I wish I could marry it, but unfortunately, the law does not allow it. And I talk about English. I am an English addict, as that little revolving sign says in the corner of the screen. And we are here together sharing our love of English. So I'm doing some special live streams, not long ones. They are short live streams from Monday to Friday. And as I just said, we have the usual live stream coming your way on Sunday as well from 2 p.m. UK time. There is no way you are ever going to forget the time that I start. 2 p.m. UK time is when I'm here with you. So now you know. Yes, we are almost at the end of the week. Not quite. There is still one more day to go, I'm afraid, but the end of the week is just around the corner. Yes, it's Thursday. It's Thursday, everyone. It feels very strange saying that, but today is Thursday. Another day of October has arrived, and everything is quite good. I have to be honest with you. However, Mr. Steve came downstairs last night. He looked quite upset, distraught even. Distraught. I do not use that word lightly. He came down, he was white. His face had lost all its rosy colour, unfortunately, and he looked horrified. And he said, "Duncan, one of our neighbours has just called to say that The local bakery has closed down. The baker shop in Much Wenlock has closed. It's gone. And they didn't tell anyone. It's a big thing, actually. It's a very big deal for us. Well, maybe not so much for me, but for Mr. Steve, he was quite upset, to be honest. So I had to spend a few moments reassuring Mr. Steve that okay, don't worry. We will still get bread. Admittedly, it won't be nice and fresh, like that lovely bread we used to get from the bakery. I think I've got a photograph somewhere of the bakery. So here it is. This is the bakery here in Much Wenlock that is now no more. It has closed down. Now, I'm not being flippant. I'm not joking about this. I know it's a serious thing because some people have lost their jobs because of it. But we were quite surprised. Mr. Steve is absolutely devastated by the fact that our local bakery has closed down. Although, to be honest with you, it is only the shop. So this shop does not actually make the bread itself. They actually have a bakery a few miles away that actually provides the bread. But the problem is, apparently, they can't get people to work at the bakery. And they can't get people to deliver the bread. This is a problem that is now affecting many people across the country. The only thing I can't believe is that it is affecting us here in Much Wenlock, a little tiny place like this. And because they are having difficulty getting drivers and people to work for them, they've had to close the shop in Much Wenlock. Steve was devastated. I had to console him. He was crying. He was so upset. And he was making all of the bread soggy. His tears were falling onto the bread and making it very wet and salty, unfortunately. So a little bit of sad news, but of course we still have shops that sell bread here in Much Wenlock. But even I have to admit the bread is not as nice. Not as nice as the bread that we used to buy from Catherine's Bakery right here in Much Wenlock. It's closed. It's gone out of business. They've decided to close that particular shop, which is sad, but unfortunately, it is also not unusual during these very strange times. So I don't know where we are going to get our fresh bread from, but all I know is Steve is not happy about it. So there you go. Oh, we are already getting messages about that particular subject. Thank you very much for getting involved on the live chat. I suppose I should first of all say hello to... Who should I say hello to today? Who was first? Oh, very interesting. We have a different first chat today. On the live chat. Mosen, hello Mosen. Guess what? You are first on today's live chat. Congratulations to you. Does that deserve a fancy pants? Does it? Shall we have a fancy pants for that? Okay, just a quick one. That's enough. We can't have too much fun, not too much excitement. We've only just begun today's live stream. Anyway, congratulations, Mosen. You are first today. Also, we have Vitas. Oh, no, Vitas, you were not first today, unfortunately. I'm ever so sorry about that. Maybe tomorrow your finger will be faster tomorrow. By the way, tomorrow is Friday. I'm going to the dentist tomorrow. It has been a long time since I've been to the dentist, but I will be going there tomorrow, which means I might be late doing my live stream tomorrow, but I will try to be here for 2 p.m. tomorrow. But if I'm a little bit late, I'm sure you will understand that maybe I am still recovering from my treatment at the dentist. So I'm going to the dentist tomorrow, but hopefully I will be with you at the usual time of 2 p.m. UK time tomorrow. Ooh, hello also Monica, also Marwa, Flower Espoir. Hello Flower, nice to see you back as well. We also have, Luis Mendez is here today. I think I might be losing my voice, by the way. This always happens. Whenever I try to do my daily live streams, I always start to lose my voice. I think I'm wearing it out already. Zudzika, Palmyra, Vitas. Also MB. I don't know who MB is, but welcome to my live stream. You are welcome to join in today. We are talking about a couple of subjects. We are talking about concentration, thinking, and being able to think about one thing during a particular period of time. Your concentration. I suppose another word we could use is attention as well. So how well you keep your concentration, how well you concentrate on something that you are doing. However, and I'm sure I'm not the only person that has this problem. Maybe it happens to you sometimes. Sometimes this doesn't work properly. Sometimes my stupid brain doesn't want to work. It's like, come on, you stupid thing. Come on, work. It's a bit like a piece of machinery. When it doesn't work properly, you just want to bang it with your fists. The same thing applies to my brain. I really want to get in there and give it a good poke and prod, but I can't. So yes, sometimes our attention is very hard to keep. It is very hard to concentrate on one particular thing. And there are many reasons why that might be the case, many reasons why that might happen. We'll be looking at that in a little while. Meanwhile, Mr. Steve this morning was getting into a bit of a panic because he noticed that the grass in the garden was growing. And he said, Mr. Duncan, I have to go outside and I have to cut the lawn. I have to cut the grass as quickly as I can. That Mr. Steve, he's such a silly sausage. Doo-ba-doo-ba-doo-doo. Quick fix. It is a live stream coming to you live right now, 16 minutes past 2 o'clock on Thursday, and I hope you are having a good day today. Hello also to Christina Teakshaw. Hello Teakshaw, nice to see you back as well. I believe you are one of my new viewers, and I'm always willing to welcome my new viewers, whether you've been watching for 1 week or 1 month or 1 year or maybe 10 years. You are more than welcome to join in on the live chat. Hello also Alessandra. Oh, I like your music, Mr. Duncan. It sounds like country music, country and western music. I have to be honest with you. I'm not a big fan of country and western music, but I do like some of it, especially when it has a nice rhythm, like the piece of music I just played. I am so addicted to your live chat. Well, I suppose you are in the right place, because I have a feeling also you might be addicted to the English language, learning English, studying English, and finding out all about it. Very nice. Today we have our anagram. Can you see it above my microphone? Our anagram today is something else that could relate to learning English. I will give you the answer a little bit later on. Hello, Carmelo. Hello, Carmelo. Carmelo Rossito. I don't recognise your name. Is it your first time here? Just in case, maybe it is your first time joining me. Please let me know. Vitas has noticed where the other heron has moved to. Yes, there used to be a plastic heron in the back garden, but now that particular heron is living in the front garden, because Mr. Steve bought a lovely new heron for me, made of metal. Very nice. Hello, Mayori. Oh, Mayori is here, which is nice. Yasser is here as well. Very nice to see you here today on the live stream. I wish Mr. Steve was here at the moment, because I'm going to talk very briefly about something, and I think it might be something that you can relate to as well. But I have a feeling that Steve should be here today. I think he should, because I'm talking about something that makes many people who drive cars quite angry. And that particular subject is parking. You never really think about it. When you have a car, when you buy a car, it is quite exciting. Well, not for me personally, because I don't drive. I don't have a car. But I've seen other people get very excited when they pass their driving test, and suddenly they can drive anywhere they want. However, there is one problem that they suddenly face, and that is where to put the car, where to park the car. And if you ever come to England, if you ever come to the UK, in fact, you will find quite often parking your car is not easy. It is not an easy thing to do, trust me. First of all, if you want to park your car outside your house or at your house, you might find that there is very little space. There is no space outside your house to put your car. And one of the things that's happened here in the UK over the past 15 or 20 years, many people have changed the appearance of their house. They've actually taken away their front garden. They've taken it away and turned it into a car park. So in the past, people used to be very proud of their gardens, especially the garden at the front of the house. But over the past few years, many people have decided, because they don't just have one car, perhaps some families have maybe 2 or even 3 cars, and they have nowhere to put them. So many people over the past 15, 20 years have decided they've actually taken their garden away, and instead they've put concrete or tarmac or gravel, something that they can park their car on, instead of having lovely flowers and a beautiful lawn. So instead they've had to take their garden away so they can park their cars. So what about you? Is it easy for you to park your car? Because I don't think it's something that people think about when they first get a car. Because you always think, oh, I could just drive anywhere I want. But suddenly you have to keep that car somewhere. Christina, Christina says, it is not easy to park where I am. I have had to rent a parking space because I am in a private street. Yes, you might find that there are many houses nearby, or perhaps sometimes you are not allowed to leave your car on the road. So maybe there is space outside your house on the road, but sometimes you can't even leave your car there. It is not allowed. Vitas says, it is always good to have your own piece of land. Yes, I think so. I would say in this modern age, so I'm not just talking about here in the UK, I'm talking about generally in many, many other places, quite likely where you live. Maybe there is a shortage of places to park your vehicle because everyone now wants to have a car. And that is the big problem that we are facing here in the UK. So you might have a family with a husband, wife, maybe 1 or 2 children who also want to have their own car. And many people now are starting to drive when they are 16 or 17. They are all very eager to drive. So quite often you might have one family with 4 cars. Can you imagine that? You're trying to park 4 cars outside your house. Some people have a garage or garage. We are lucky here because Mr. Steve has a garage, so he can park his car inside the garage. But maybe you don't. Maybe you have a small driveway. Maybe you have nowhere to park your car. So quite often, and I suppose a good example would be somewhere like New York in the United States, where very few people can afford a parking space. So if you live in a big city like New York, parking is something that is very valuable. And quite often you will have to pay a lot of money just to rent a small parking space. It could be hundreds of dollars a month just so you can leave your car somewhere near to your house. In my town, it is even difficult to park the motorcycle. Christina, well, I would imagine if you live in a place where motorcycles are common, and I remember this from my time in China, and I'm sure maybe where you live, perhaps there is a similar situation. Bicycles also have to be parked somewhere. So maybe a place where there are many bicycles or many motorcycles, they all have to be parked somewhere. And I suppose the other thing you have to remember is safety as well, because you don't want to have your car stolen. You don't want your motorbike to be stolen. You don't want your bicycle to be stolen. So it isn't just about having the space. I suppose also it is about having the security as well. Teek Shah. Very interesting comment. I have noticed that even rich countries, the people in rich countries don't have their own cars. It can happen. You might find people, for example, living in London. So people who live and work in London, you might find that they don't even own a car because they don't need it. And one of the good things about living in a big city like London is public transport is everywhere. So really, unless you're going to drive a very long way from London, you don't really need to drive a car. And also the other thing to remember is in cities like London, driving around is also very expensive, because now if you drive in a certain area of London, you will actually be charged for doing it. So even if you drive into a certain area of London, you will be charged. You have to pay money just to drive on the road in that area. And every time you go there and every time you drive around, you have to pay a charge. So fewer and fewer people are now driving cars. So yes, you are right. You are right. Pachu says it is not difficult for me to park. Yes, the solution quite often is to buy a house that has a garage or, of course, a driveway. So you don't have to have a garage. You don't have to have a place to park your car inside, but you can have an area near your house or outside your house where you can park your car. Hello, Oim Oim, who says, I have found the anagram. What shall I do? Well, I suppose you could say, Mr. Duncan, here is the answer. And then show me the answer. That's not a problem. No problem. Hello, Carmelo. Oh, hello, Carmelo Rosito, who says, I work in London. Well, I'm sure you know exactly what I'm talking about then. You will know that living in London might seem glamorous and it might seem very cool, especially when you see people living in London and you see it maybe in a TV show or in a movie. But in reality, it's not so easy. It's not so good, especially these days, because I think in big cities they are trying to discourage people from having cars and driving cars. But if you have one, then you might find that you will have difficulty parking your car. Another thing, if you go into town or if you go to another place, you might find that there is also a shortage of parking spaces. And this is something that Mr. Steve absolutely hates. I do wish Steve was here now to talk about this, but if you ask Mr. Steve about paying for parking in a town or city, he normally gets very angry about it because he does not like paying to park his car. Fortunately, here in Much Wenlock, we do have quite a lot of street parking, but there are also plenty of car parks where you can leave your car and then you pay a certain amount of money. So maybe £3 maybe, and you could stay probably for maybe 4 or 5 hours. So here in Much Wenlock, it's not too expensive. So maybe £2 or £3, and that's all it costs. And then you can leave your car in the car park for as long as you want. So you can go shopping and looking around. Christina V, I only have a motorcycle, and when I need to move for a long distance, I rent a car. Yes, well, more and more people are now renting cars or just taking taxis, because now we have services like Uber, so local taxi services that you can just call and they will take you wherever you want to go. Lewis says, I don't usually go to Paris by car. It is much better and more comfortable to take the tube. Yes, well, I discovered that with Mr. Steve when we went to Paris in 2019. It is very nice to get around Paris, and also you can travel quite a long distance on the tube, the underground, and also the local train services as well. So I was very impressed by the public transport in Paris. I have to say it was amazing, actually, even though lots of people kept telling me not to do it. They said, don't go on the trains, don't go on the public transport because you will get robbed. I didn't get robbed, by the way, nor did Mr. Steve, and I didn't see anyone being robbed, to be honest. So you'll be pleased to hear that I was not robbed at all. Thank you, Sandra. Mr. Duncan, parking is almost impossible where I am. The cars are always in parking lots. Yes, so you can face a lot of difficulty if you are trying to park your car near your house, or maybe if you go to another place, you might also find that you have to pay for it. My only regret is that Mr. Steve isn't here. He isn't here today. We might ask him on Sunday, shall we? Shall we mention it to Steve on Sunday? Please remind me. Can you remind me on Sunday? Because I will forget. Sometimes I find it very difficult to concentrate on one thing, or I find it hard to remember things. So if you can mention that on Sunday when Steve is here, ask him what he thinks about parking and paying to park his car, and then watch his face. He will turn quite red, I think. Oim Oim also says, when I'm in Paris, I just take the metro. Yes, very impressive. I thought it was brilliant, in fact. Very impressed I was. We are talking about concentration. I just mentioned it. Concentration. Your brain is an amazing thing. It is amazing. I think the brain is incredible. And there is still so much we don't know about this big blob of jelly that sits inside our skull. We don't know anything really about it. We still don't really understand how it works. We like to have a look. We like to poke. We like to scan. But still, there are many things we don't know. And sometimes your brain doesn't work very well. And there might be reasons why that happens. Concentration is something you quite often need if you are performing a certain task. Maybe in your job. Maybe you work in a job where your concentration needs to be there all the time. Maybe your job requires you to have concentration. However, quite often we will find ourselves losing concentration. Maybe there are many reasons. Perhaps we can find quite a few reasons why a person might find themselves losing concentration. You lose concentration. Maybe you forget what you are doing. Maybe you can't remember someone's name. Maybe you forget the thing that you are supposed to be doing at that moment. You should be concentrating on something. So to be concentrating on something means you are doing something and it needs your complete attention. For example, doing this. So doing this is not as easy as it looks, because I'm not just talking to you, but I'm also looking at many screens in front of me. I have a big screen, a small screen, I have lots of controls, and I also have some controls here for the sound. So not only am I talking to you, I'm also having to control all of this equipment in front of me. So I am concentrating on doing this, but also I'm trying to concentrate on more than one thing. We call that multitasking. I like that one, multitask. If you have full concentration, well, we can say that you are staying focused. To be focused on something means you are giving it all of your concentration. You are focused. You are staying focused. So to have good concentration means that you are focused on that particular thing. Keeping your mind on something. Oh, this is something I have a lot of difficulty with. In certain situations and for certain reasons, you might not be able to keep your mind on something. So if you are good at concentrating, it means you are good at keeping your mind on something. You are looking at something, concentrating on what you are doing at that moment. Talking of moments, we can say that a person who is good at concentrating is also good at staying in the moment. When we say that a person should stay in the moment, it means you must be aware of what is happening around you at that time. And by that, I mean the present. And it's amazing how many people are not good at staying in the moment. They are not. They find it very hard to stay in the moment. Maybe if you are walking around, maybe you are in the countryside, walking around, surrounded by nature. However, you are thinking about other things. You are thinking about your job, or maybe a problem in your family life, or maybe something you have to do later or tomorrow. So you are not staying in the moment. And this is something I think a lot of people these days have problems with. To stay fixed and also on the ball. I like that one. This phrase, on the ball, means that you are in control and you are focused. You are concentrating on that thing. You are staying fixed and on the ball. It means your concentration is 100%. And then, of course, we have lose concentration. And I think this is quite a common thing. I don't think it's just me. I hope not anyway. But losing concentration can also happen as well. Losing concentration. Maybe you are doing something and you have to concentrate very hard, but then your mind starts to wander. Your mind starts to move around. Your thoughts go elsewhere to another thing, another subject. So you can quite often lose concentration very easily. We can say that you drift away. If you drift away, imagine sitting in a boat on a lake and slowly the boat carrying you drifts away. And it's a bit like that when you lose concentration. It's the same thing. When you lose concentration, the same thing happens. You drift away. Your mind drifts away. You go into a daydream. I do it, and I'm sure sometimes you do it. But you do have to be careful when you do it. You have to be careful when you go into a daydream. Maybe you are having a little fantasy in your mind. You are thinking of something that makes you feel nice and happy. You go into a daydream. You lose concentration. You can also drift off. So earlier I said drift away, but also we can say that you drift off. Your mind goes somewhere else. It goes elsewhere. Your thoughts wander around and you lose concentration. It can happen, and it happens to the best of us. But sometimes the consequences of losing concentration can be quite serious. You forget where you are. Have you ever done that? Have you ever actually forgotten where you are? And that can be used in many ways. Perhaps you are reading a piece of paper, some text, or maybe you are reading something to a group of people. Perhaps you forget where you are on the paper because you lose concentration. So if you are reading something to a group of people, maybe you have to read what is written on a piece of paper. Sometimes your concentration can drift and you might lose your place. You might forget where you are. Sometimes you might be in a certain place and you might forget where you are. You might completely lose concentration. You became, or you have become, distracted. Like then, something distracts you. You can easily become distracted by something. So you are trying to do one thing, but then something else distracts you. Maybe you are trying to read and another person nearby is talking, and that can distract you. So to distract means to put a person off what they are doing. You are breaking a person's concentration. You distract that person. You might also lose focus as well. If you lose focus, it means you lose concentration. You find it hard to concentrate. I sometimes find it very difficult to concentrate at certain times of the day. Sometimes early in the morning when I get up, I find it hard to concentrate. Sometimes in the evening, or if I've got to work very late in front of my computer, I can find it very hard to concentrate. So it can happen, and I think it happens to everyone sometimes. Flower Espoir says, sometimes in the classroom, I used to go into a daydream. Oh, is that because you got bored with the class? I hope you don't go into a daydream with me. I don't think I will give you a chance. You never have a chance to go into a daydream with me because I always have something new to talk about. Mika. Hello, Mika. Watching in Japan. Just now, we had a big earthquake just a few moments ago. Hello, Mika. I hope you're okay. The ground was moving, was shaking. And of course, in that part of the world where you live, there can, from time to time, be earthquakes. I hope it wasn't too serious. But I do know that quite often in that area, in that part of the world, quite often the earth is shifting and moving. And sometimes it can really make the ground shake and vibrate. So please stay safe. I hope you're okay. I hope it wasn't too serious. Your class is very vivid, Mr. Duncan, and no, I can't lose concentration. I'm very pleased to hear that. Thank you for telling me. Maybe there are some reasons why you lose concentration. I suppose the most obvious one is lack of sleep. If you are tired, it is much harder to keep your concentration. And this takes me back to my school days when I used to sit my exams. And I'm sure you've done this as well, not just me. I've stayed up the night before trying to revise and remember things. And sometimes I will stay up till very late. And then the next day I have to take the exam. I have to then concentrate on the questions. And I have to have the answers in my brain ready. But unfortunately, if you lose sleep, it can be very hard to concentrate. Maybe you have too many things on your mind. This is something that Mr. Steve often does. Quite often Steve will try to think about lots of different things, and he finds it very difficult to concentrate on one thing because there are other things going around in your brain, things you are thinking about. Oh. Apparently Mosen is sending some flowers to someone. I wonder who it is. Interesting. Perhaps you are feeling bored, or you have weariness or lethargy. Oh, I like that word, by the way. lethargy. Lethargy means to lose interest in something. You become bored, disinterested. You have weariness. You are no longer interested in the thing you are doing. And we can describe that as lethargy. I like that word. Pretty good. And another reason why people find it hard to concentrate is stress or anxiety, which is happening a lot. More and more people are now taking time from their jobs because they feel anxious or they have anxiety. So there might be many reasons why a person finds it very difficult to concentrate. I'm sure you can think of some as well. Maybe illness as well. Maybe you're feeling unwell. So if you have some sort of illness, maybe you have a headache, or maybe toothache, or maybe you are apprehensive about going to the dentist tomorrow, like me. Yes, I'm going to the dentist tomorrow. I'm not looking forward to it, to be honest. Hello, Carmelo. I have to manage 68 flats, and sometimes I lose concentration because I have to attend calls and emails, visitors and residents. So you have to manage a lot of things. And I would imagine with your job, lots of new things will come along every day. So maybe when you wake up in the morning, you have no idea what is going to happen in your job. Some people might say that is exciting. Some people might say it's too stressful. So maybe you enjoy it. Maybe you enjoy it because of that situation, because there is always new things to do. But you are right. Sometimes it can also be hard to concentrate on. It is almost time to go. Matt Lindell says, Mr. Duncan, you should not burn the midnight oil. I think that's a very good suggestion. If you burn the midnight oil, it means you are staying up too late. Maybe you are working through the night. Maybe you are studying when you should be asleep. You are burning the midnight oil. Thank you very much for your company. I am going in a moment. I will be back with you tomorrow. I might be a little bit late. I'm not sure at the moment. I might be slightly late tomorrow because I'm going to the dentist. So I will see what happens. Ikram says, I often lose concentration because of fear and anxiety, especially when I take an exam. I agree with you. I think one of the most stressful things a person can do is be tested on their knowledge. And I will be honest with you. Can I just confess something before I go? I am very bad at tests. I don't know why. I don't know what happens. But whenever I take an exam or sit some sort of test, my brain completely goes blank. And I suppose you might also say that I panic as well, slightly. So I don't like sitting exams. I don't like taking tests because quite often my brain will just switch off. It will stop working. And in the past, that used to get me into some very difficult situations. Anyway, enough of me. We have the anagram, don't we? Yes, I'm trying to find my anagram. There it is. Today's anagram, I will put it on the screen, right across the screen. The anagram there is practice makes perfect. Well done to those who got it right. Practice makes perfect. We often say that practice makes perfect. The more you practice something, the more you do something, the better you will become at doing it. It's time to go. Thank you very much for this lovely live stream. You are welcome, Beatrice. No problem. I'm back with you tomorrow. And yes, you can watch this live stream again later on with captions. There will be captions available later. So you might have to wait for maybe an hour or a couple of hours, and there will be captions on here. You can watch this again. See you tomorrow. Of course, tomorrow is Friday. I'm sure you will be very excited about that as the weekend approaches. Catch you later. Thanks for joining me. See you tomorrow, 2 p.m. UK time. There will be a piece of cake on Monday. So every Monday, when I join you, I will show you a piece of cake. But not tomorrow, because it's Friday, and also I don't have any cake. I suppose I could buy some. Maybe I can buy a little piece of cake tomorrow after visiting the dentist. That's a good idea. Thank you for your suggestion. I might do that. Catch you tomorrow. This is Mr. Duncan in the birthplace of English saying thanks for joining me. I hope you have a super duper day. Wherever you are in the world, keep that smile upon your face as you walk around amongst the human race. Stay happy, stay well, and please stay safe. And of course, you know what's coming next. Ta-ta for now.